The Baltimore Orioles may be leaving Camden Yards, possibly. And are the Baltimore Orioles on a move? God's favorite host, the host of the Voice here on the Flex Zone Podcast YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. I'm going to break it all down for you and what this means for the Baltimore Orioles in their future right after this. What is going on, Flex Zone family, Baltimore Orioles fans? It is the Flex Zone Podcast, God's favorite host, the host with the moist BKD, back here on the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the yard as we get ready for baseball season. As I'm back with another Orioles video, hit the like button, helps us out tremendously and costs you nothing. And hit that bell to know when new videos drop each and every day here on the channel. You want it, we got it. What you need, how you want it, when you need it on the Flex Zone Podcast. Let's get into some Orioles news. As we know today, February 1st, Happy Black History Month, is the first day of the Black History Month, first day of February, and it is the last day for the Baltimore Orioles to sign a deal with the Maryland Stadium Authority which would turn out to be a 5-year extension on their current lease, taking them into the year 2028. Now, the question in the video, are the Baltimore Orioles leaving Camden Yards? If they don't sign that lease today, they will have until December to get a new deal done. Let's read an excerpt from BaltimoreBaseball.com. Shout out to the good folks over there. 2 years ago, the Orioles' lease on Camden Yards was set to expire at the end of 2021. On February 8th, 2021, the team signed a new 2-year extension, which expires at the end of this year, as I mentioned. The Orioles have a one-time option, which must be exercised by today, Wednesday, February 1st, to extend their lease for 5 years, which I said would put them through 2028. The deadline has caused Orioles fans to worry, just as they did 2 years ago. The Orioles have not agreed on a new long-term lease for Camden Yards, nor have they explained the reason for the delay. January 16th, Orioles chairman and CEO John Angelos said the team will stay in Baltimore. This was during the Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration, in which they announced a lot of scholarship opportunities. And I quote, John Angelos says, "The Baltimore Orioles are going to be here for the long term," Angelos said. "We have been here, and I've said many times publicly, unsolicited, unprompted, we're never going anywhere." 2 days after Angelos' declaration, Wes Moore was elected governor, and he is going to be replacing Thomas Kelso, who was Governor Larry Hogan's appointed head of the Maryland Stadium Commission. Kelsey will also stay on until there's a new chair confirmed by state legislatures, which is likely to happen by mid-April, so the season will have already started for the Orioles. Another quote, "The Orioles will continue to work with the Stadium Authority, Tom Kelso, and the next administration. I count Baltimore City, Brandon Scott, and Wes Moore as my personal friends," Angelo said last month. "We're going to get this done for just about every reason. We're all local people with the best of intentions. Fear not, the Orioles will be here. They're from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. I lived here. I had a hard life." You know the spiel from the billionaires. Last year, the legislature passed a $1.2 billion bill in improvements for Oriole Park and M&T Bank Stadium. The Ravens, they took their money. They have agreed on a lease extension, but the Orioles have not. So it's basically $600 million waiting for the Orioles to maintain and add tweaks and upgrades to Oriole Park at Camden Yards, as well as the surrounding areas and neighborhoods. It doesn't appear that the lawsuit between Lou Angelos and John, their mother, Georgia, is the reason. Let's not forget they're in Towson Circuit Court fighting about $60 million missing from Peter Angelos' bank account. And if he was in good enough health to know what was going on, he'd be definitely livid and frustrated in getting this thing in check. The suit wasn't filed until last June. The regulations for the lease has been underway and described by both sides as productive. The Orioles' plans might have something to do with it. They want to address shortcomings such as the outdated scoreboard, sound system, and also changes to possibly the seating areas. John Angelos has talked about adding retail stores, perhaps a hotel, and housing to the area around the stadium, as I mentioned. Whatever the reason for the delay, fans are eager for a long-term lease or a minimum of 5-year extension. If the option for the extension is exercised, they would delay the Orioles' plans for substantial changes to the Oriole Park. They can only tap into the $600 million embarked for the team if they get the long-term extension. So if they don't take this long-term deal, the 5-year deal, they can't get any of that money. The talk has other fans remembering the Colts' departure from Baltimore in 1984, but the team's circumstances couldn't be more different. The Colts and Orioles share Memorial Stadium. There were no concrete plans for the replacement. The Colts were owned by Robert Irsay, who had no ties to Baltimore. Cities renounced Irsay, and he could have moved the Colts to Birmingham, Memphis, or Phoenix, but chose Indianapolis. The NFL didn't try to stop Irsay's move, having been stung by the Raiders' Al Davis, who initially blocked from moving from Oakland to Los Angeles, but was granted the request after filing an antitrust suit against the NFL. Last month, Angelos paid $5 million, as I mentioned, on the Martin Luther King Day, to College Bound, a program to help city school children get into college and graduate. Commissioner Rob Manfred of the MLB also made commitments as well. As long as I have this job, I think you can count on the fact that the Orioles are going to be in Baltimore. He said at his winter meetings in San Diego on December 6th. Angelos said, and I think Rob Manfred said that, excuse me. Unlike the NFL, MLB has the loathe to allow teams to move. While there are cities lining up with major league ready stadiums to coax the franchises move in the last 51 years, Montreal, the Expos, going to Washington, becoming the Nationals is the only move that was presented by baseball. It's not common, as they mentioned, but progress in Las Vegas for a new stadium, and if Oakland doesn't make upgrades, could see the Oakland Athletics become the Las Vegas Athletics as well. And that's the worst in baseball, as we mentioned. Now, fan attendance should be up this year, and they're bringing in things to help with fan engagement. The Birdland Caravan, hashtag bring back Orioles Fan Fest, in my opinion, even though the Birdland Caravan is cool. Add that with the return of Fan Fest. You have a young roster that people are excited about. You have a team that is going to be competitive for the next few years, is under great leadership. The excitement is up. The players are young. The players are hungry. You have potential here in Baltimore. The Orioles, the rumor is they're going to agree to a short-term extension, but people want a 30-year lease and to revitalize Camden Yards so they can have that stability for decades to come. So will they be leaving Camden Yards? No, not this year. They have through December, if anything. And then adding into that, I think a deal will get done, much like in 2021 with the 2-year extension. I think if they don't meet the deadline of today, I think by the end of this year, they will have a deal in place, maybe before the end of the summer with the court battlings of the Angelos. If that gets put in the rear view, the team is playing well. They see the potential of fan engagement, patrons involved with the team, ticket sales up, attendance. The team is doing what they're suspected to do. You got the young players, Rutschman, Henderson, Rodriguez, and others who are catapulting this team to compete for divisional titles, to compete for wild card spots in the playoffs. I think they'll say, hey, look, it's more money to stay here than go to Nashville, for example, which is being rumored. So with that being said, I think they will get a long-term deal done. I would love to see them just pick up the extensions today, get the 5 years, and take the next 5 years to really get things right around Camden Yards and in Camden Yards to then get that longer-term deal that some people want. But hey, if they get the 5 years, I'll start with that. I'll be grateful for that because, like mentioned before, we've seen the Colts leave in '84. We've seen things happen with other organizations, as they mentioned, Montreal going to Washington. So Rob Manfred seems to be behind the Angeloses owning this team and keeping them here in Baltimore and getting the best product on the field, which I think we will get as well. Now, as far as the team moving, I think the Angelos is more or less worried about the money in Daddy Peter's bank account, because if the mom and the brother are doing some funding or moving monies around, I'm not going to count anybody's money for tax evasion or whatever it might be. Don't bring this dark cloud, this negativity around the Orioles this season. A season in 2023 where I'll talk more about later on, where I think they could be very, very competitive. They could be possibly in contention with a Tampa Bay, with a Blue Jays, with a New York Yankees, a Toronto Blue Jays and New York Yankees in regards to being one of the top teams in the AL East. Are they better than those teams? Time will tell. The rotation has to show up. Some of these young players have to take that next big leap. But I do think that the Orioles this season are at least, they won 83 games last year. They could at least win 85 to 90 games this year. And who knows, with spring training still about 14, 15 days away, they could add another piece to the rotation. They could add another piece to this bullpen. They could make another move for another utility guy, left-handed bat. We don't know what might happen. Could be another trade. Anything could happen in the next 2 weeks. This is where MLB teams make their best moves. They make their best runs for late additions to better and bolster their roster heading into the season. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I think the Orioles will not be leaving Camden Yards. It is one of the best in all of baseball stadiums, best experiences. It's been there They just celebrated 30 years this past year. I want to see another 30 plus years for Camden Yards. I want to see them thriving, surviving, and continuing to upgrade and maintain their status as the best ballpark in all of baseball. And as far as the Orioles moving, I think once the Angeloses get their situation with this money in the rear view, they split it up 3 ways, they split it up 2 ways, however they got to split it up, where everybody is happy and smiling. I think the Orioles will be here for the long term. I think they will get a deal done. I think they will, if they do wait till after the summer where everything is over with, that could happen as well. And I do think they have a potential to, for the long term, get the deal done that they need as well to keep them here and have a stadium to support them. Like I said, the Ravens did it. The Orioles accepted. They got $600 million waiting for them that they can use to keep up with the better parks in all of baseball, so they can maintain, as I mentioned, to be the best and help out the inner cities, the surrounding areas, the neighborhoods that are accompanying Camden Yards and the downtown Baltimore upkeep, as well as also the college bound, continuing to put into their organization scholarships, helping out diversity students and impacting more kids to have the opportunity at higher education and maybe getting into baseball, into the Orioles system, and getting into the various fields that are accompanying the Major League Baseball team with analytics and Mike Elias and Sig Mejdal. We need more things like that in the NFL, in the MLB. We see it with the NFL. We seen it, and we would definitely like to see it with Orioles as they continue to stay here in Baltimore and beyond, and hopefully continue to be the staple. I mean, we love the Ravens here on the channel. We love the Ravens in Baltimore, but we got to give credit to the Orioles. They are getting back to relevance. They are going to be a team that is going to be fun to watch for the foreseeable future and on the right trajectory. Hop on the train now before it's too late, ladies and gentlemen, because we know when the Orioles are at their best, it is best for the city of Baltimore and Orioles fans and baseball fans alike as well. Getting some new blood up in those pennant races, divisional races, World Series championship mix as well. Let me know what you guys want to hear, what you want to see on the channel. Orioles preview coming real soon. The Orioles are going to be staying in Baltimore. Got positional breakdowns, positional previews, managerial preview and breakdown. I'll look back over the offseason coming up to see what I like, maybe what I didn't like. The gradual improvement of the Orioles year in and year out. God's favorite host, the host of the Moist, back here on the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Hit that like button, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button, only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.